Hey, welcome back to another math video in the G67 series. Tonight we're going to be talking about converting decimals to fractions. But first, let's start with the trivia question. Who is this dude? All right, I know, he's Clive Cussler, but no, seriously, who is this dude? All right, we'll find out the answer to that after our instruction. Tonight, officially, our target is I can convert terminating and repeating decimals to fractions. Let's do this thing. All right, start off the questions tonight. Kendra and Bella are making cookies for their favorite math teacher, hint, hint. The recipe calls for zero point 0.6 repeating of a cup of chocolate chips. Their measuring cup is only marked in fractions, so what fraction is this equivalent to? Well, you might be able to guess what it's equivalent to, but I want to show you how you can prove it because that's our target tonight. So what you do is you say that x is equal to 0.6 repeating, or 0.66666. And if that is true, and we can say that, then we can multiply both sides by 10. And so we can also say that 10x's are equal to 6.6 repeating, just moving that decimal one spot. After we have 10 of them, we can subtract 1x. And if we subtract 1x from this, we're going to get rid of all of those repeating 6's. And we're going to be left with just 6 here. So that's what we do. We had 10x, we subtract 1. Now we have 9x is equal to 6. The repeating decimals crossed out. Now we have ourselves a one-step equation, 9x equals 6. We'll divide by 9 here. It's going to leave us with x is equal to 6/9. We can reduce that down to x is equal to 2/3. And just like that, you were able to prove what you thought at the beginning of that question. All right, math word of the day, bar notation. Anytime you have a bar over the top of a number or numbers, digits, that is saying that those digits are repeating. All right. If you want a quick review of how to convert a terminating decimal, here, this is a terminating decimal. It doesn't go on. It doesn't repeat. It's just 0.31. That's it. You just take and put your pencil on that decimal, draw a line under it, put a 0 under each digit, put a 1 in front of the whole mess, 31/100ths. Reduce if necessary. And in this case here, you don't have to reduce. All right, let's work through an example here of a repeating decimal. All right, so what is 0.333 or what is 0.3 repeating as a fraction? Okay, first thing, we'll, just like before, we'll set and say that x is equal to 0.3 repeating. All right, step 2, we're going to multiply both sides by a multiple of 10. In this case, we're just going to use 10 because if we move the decimal here one spot, 0.3 times 10, we're going to get 3.3, and that's what we want. We want to get a whole number here and our repeating decimals over here. So we multiply both sides by 10. Now, we're going to subtract 1x. We're going to get down to 9x. So if we subtract 1x, if we subtract all of those repeating 3's, we'll end up with 9x is equal to 3. And this is what we want to do. We want to get a simple one-step equation without any decimals. Now we divide by 9. Step 4, that'll isolate this variable. We're going to end up with x is equal to 3/9. That's what we want, something we can reduce. X is equal to 1/3 then. All right? I'm going to have you try one here. What is 0.222222 or what is 0.2 repeating as a fraction? I'm going to help you out here. Don't forget to start off by saying that x is equal to 0.2 repeating. You go ahead and pause and try this. All right, let's move on here. Did you multiply both sides by 10? Just move that decimal one spot, okay? Did you subtract 1x? You'll notice that now when we do that, this is supposed to say 0.2, but when you do that, we end up getting 2 all by itself. All right? 9x equals 2. We've got our one-step equation. We'll divide by 9. We'll get that down into x is equal to 2/9. And 2/9 you can't reduce. There it is. X is equal to 2/9. Sweet! I love it when a plan comes together. All right, try this one by yourself. What is 0.5555 or 0.5 repeating as a fraction? Run through the steps. I know it's a simple example. You can do this though. All right, let's see how you did. Did you set it x equal to 0.5? To multiply both sides by 10, so you had 10x equals 5.5? If you did, you're doing great. Subtract 1x. That'll get this 5 here all by itself. Get rid of all those repeating decimals. So you got 9 as x is equal to 5. There's your one-step equation. Divide by 9 to isolate that x. X is equal to 5/9, and you can't reduce any further. That's it right there. Sweet. All right, I think you're ready for the, oh, there's a yeah but. There's always a yeah but. What if there's more than one digit that repeats? Look at this, 0.121212 or 0.12 repeating as a fraction. We can still follow these same steps. We set x is equal to 0.12 repeating. This time we're going to multiply by 100. That's why I said over here, get rid of the decimal and multiply both sides by a multiple of 10. Because what we want to do is we want to get 0.12 over here by itself so we can isolate 12. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We multiply both sides by 100, so we've got 100x equals 12.12 repeating. Now we're going to subtract just one x because that'll help us get rid of all of these repeating 1s and 2s. When we do that, 100x minus 1x, you got 99x is equal to 12. One-step equation time. Cancel out the 99s or divide by 99, they cancel out. This side, you end up with 12 99s, which you can actually reduce down to x equals 4/33. It wasn't that bad, was it? No, you guys are awesome. All right, here's your trivia question. Here's your ticket to the show. The ticket to the show. What is 0.8888 or 0.8 repeating as a fraction? Please show your steps and kind of talk your way through it like we did. I think it'll help you. I know it helps me a lot. All right, answer to the trivia question. Who is Clive Cussler? Clive Cussler? He's my favorite author, and here's a picture of him and his son, Dirk. Dirk, remember that name. Clive Cussler is a prolific author. He's written tons of stuff. Here is his website. I haven't read this one. This is a brand new book that's coming out, but he has written tons of different book series. His most famous series is the Dirk Pitt series. Yes, he named his son after a character in the book, but there's like 15 or 18 of these books about Dirk Pitt. He's this guy, works for NUMA. It's a national underwater marine agency, and him and his buddy Al Giardino get in all kinds of adventures and trouble, and he always comes out the hero. They're great. Wrote a bunch of other books too. The NUMA files are great. Oregon files, love them. And he even wrote some kid books. Now, I read Vin Fizz a few years ago, but I was in the library and I had a new one. And of all the names, it's Hotsy Totsy. Here's a, I'm not going to say how old I am, but an old man checking out a book called Hotsy Totsy. Yes? And two kids saw me doing this. Hey, Mr. Dudley, what you checking out Hotsy Totsy for? Lucky I got out of the library. Lucky I didn't get beat up in the parking lot for checking out that kind of a book. Anyway, I did want to prove to you that Clive Cussler wrote it, and I've read everything this guy's written, so I did want to read it. It's good, but let's be serious. Stick with Dirk Pitt, Clive. Much better. All right, have a great evening. Thanks for watching. Bye.